Hey everybody, Charlotte from Charlotte's Books, and today I'm going to be starting my going into sophomore year college advice. This one is going to be specifically on dorm related things. It's not going to be stuff like bring this. It's going to be based on my own experiences, so I'm hoping that this is more helpful than like just a random guide of like what you need to bring. Like, this is going to focus on my past experience, hoping that it's genuinely useful. And I know I devoured these types of videos when I was going into my freshman year. I tried to make some of my own, but like, honestly, you can't really give advice until you've actually been through it. And I will be going into my sophomore year, so I'm hoping that I have a little bit of wisdom. Just to set it up, I lived in what you would probably consider the most typical dorm, like the cinder block walls, the white walls that you can't like put push pins in, even though you're not supposed to any wall. Shared bathrooms, which I did not get into at all for this video, but I can if you want. They're really not that bad. Bottom line, they're not that bad. It was a double. I loved my roommates, so that worked out well. It was really tiny. It was very tiny. I did not like my freshman year dorm. If I didn't like my roommate, I probably would have tried to move. I hated most people on my floor. That's another video. This is advice. Alright, so let's start with my first piece of advice. If you get those dorm lights that everyone's super into nowadays, like the basic white string Christmas lights, most of the time they aren't allowed. My way of doing this was to use them anyway, because unless you get the ones that heat up, which don't actually get those, the longer they're turned on, you're gonna be fine. And my advice for that is just bring them up, decorate your room. They look really nice. I always felt 10 times better in my little room, my little horrible room, when those lights were on, because it's just atmospheric. And when you have room inspections, you are usually warned a few days ahead of time. Just take them off. Just take them down and they won't say anything. The time my RA actually came in with the housing department person for that room inspection, and they were like, "Oh my god, Charlotte, where are your lights? They're so pretty." And I was like, they're legal. So bottom line, I do recommend getting those lights, even if your college actually says that they're not allowed for decoration purposes. Just be smart. Don't flaunt them. Not that you can really flaunt a string of lights. And don't get the ones that will overheat, because then you will be lighting stuff on fire. Advice number 2, do not loft your bed unless you have a good reason, unless you can actually fit a dresser underneath, a desk underneath, or anything. You genuinely do not need to loft your bed unless you have one of those reasons. Even if you put a lot of storage underneath, my thing fell down. I lofted my bed and I had one of those 3-shelf plastic things. I had a few things. It just made my room look weird. People would come in and they would be like, "Why did you loft your bed?" And I would be like, "I thought I could fit my dresser underneath, but there was a centimeter room too much. It wasn't worth it." I had to like do one of those gymnastic jumps where you're like, my roommate had to do, run, jump. So like, don't loft your bed unless you're legitimately putting something, like another piece of furniture underneath. If you're just putting like storage, honestly, coming from someone who had a tiny ass room, you don't need that much storage. 3, those bed pad things, like the memory foam, those are legit. I know I said I wasn't gonna be like, just buy this, but like honestly buy one, buy a memory foam one. 4, this one is probably basic, but get along with your roommate. I said I'm best friends with mine, but even if you're not best friends, still talk to them. Don't be the person who goes into their room, doesn't even acknowledge their roommate exists. And I had a lot of friends who did this, and I'm not saying they're bad people, it was just the relationship they had with their roommate was non-existent. So they wouldn't even say hello or anything, they wouldn't communicate. Being able to say to your roommate, "What's the weather outside?" even if you have a window, like that's even have that baseline level. That's what I'm trying to say. My friends who had the relationships where they just had nothing in common, or they were like, my roommate's really quiet, they were so unhappy with their living situation. If anything, be on a hello, first name basis. How are you doing today? When are your finals? When you're going home for break? That's necessary. Like, don't be the person who didn't even know their roommate would be away that weekend. Be able to have an acquaintance level conversation with your roommate. Don't pretend they don't exist, because they do exist, and you exist, and you're living together for at least a semester, if not a whole year. 5, those little mirrors with the lights around them that everybody puts in their halls, those things are also really good for the reasoning that if you're coming in really late and you're stumbling around, you can just turn on the lowest setting and it glows. Like, those lights are mostly for makeup, so they're not straight up lights, they're like a glowy effect. So you can see around your little space, you can drop your backpack, drop all your items of shame, ignore the fact that you're coming back at 3 a.m. and you can just go and do the gymnastics jump up your bed and call it quits. 6, this relates to the last point. Have a few batteries lying around. This is something you don't realize when you're on your own, that the junk drawer in your kitchen won't be around when you're in a dorm. And when that little light died, I didn't have batteries. So just have assortment of AA's and AAA's around. I don't know why you would need any other type of battery, but that is one of those things that you don't realize, and sometimes you need batteries. 7, it's good to have bulk of some things, not batteries like I was just saying, but tissues, eyeliners, eyeliner singular, cough drops, emergency. I stumbled across this good information when I accidentally bought in bulk on Amazon a few times. I still have cough drops if anyone needs them. But honestly, I use tissues for not only blowing my nose, but makeup. It was really handy, and also when my roommate needed a box, I could be like, good thing I have 8, here you go. Emergency and cough drops, because you get sick a lot at college. I was sick probably all of first semester. I accidentally bought like 4 of my NYX eyeliners, and it turned out to be a great thing. They were only $8 for 4. I don't know how I did that. Still wondering to this day. But then I went the whole, like, that was a solid second semester I didn't need eyeliner. And that's also one of the things, like, I don't know about your college bookstore, but mine doesn't carry my specific type of eyeliner, so I'm gonna have to buy it online anyway. So it's good to have bulk of something. 8, this is another one that, like I said, I probably wouldn't do these types, but always have eye masks. If you're like me and can't sleep with light, and your roommate has a test and they're staying up late, it's really handy to have the eye masks. I cycle back and forth between sleeping with just a flat out pillow on my head, which makes me look weird in pictures, and eye masks. And eye masks are good for, like, covering the entire thing. No, you won't strangle yourself with it. I've been doing it for years. Not Velcro, because that sticks in your hair, but adjustable, because sometimes if they are too tight, you'll wake up and your eyes are like squeezed like grapes. 9, I did that so weird. Okay, my dorm, because of how it was set up, we were just like right out into the hall, and it would be noisy. There were these 2 girls who would like literally scream whenever they walked by. So I recommend always sleeping with something that makes noise, and more often than not, you're not gonna have a white noise machine. So I always slept with my fan on, and it was just nice in general to like sleep with a fan. I've been sleeping with stuff that makes noise my whole life. Okay, I've been sleeping with a noise machine, but also, I don't know if the camera can see it, but I have one of those fans, and that's actually my college one, and I just put it on and it makes a little whirring, and it blocks out A, if your roommate is still up and making sound, B, whatever's going on in the hall. So that is really handy, because not only in the summer months does it provide cooling down, but it also provides a little white noise, which makes it easier to sleep. 10, when you have classes during the week, you might not want to get up. If you're like me and have an 11 a.m. next semester, you're gonna be fine. But if you have an 8 a.m., you should not sleep with the blind all the way down, because unless you have some bad blinds, honestly, colleges set you up with that heavy duty stuff, like blocks all light. My advice is, when you have to get up in the morning, leave the blind a few inches up, because then you'll get that like annoying crack of light in the morning that reminds you that you have to wake up and be a functioning human. 11. This hurts me to say, but as a booktuber, but don't bring a lot of books to college. If anything, bring like 4. You're not gonna have time to read. I brought so many books to college, like, and then I just had to lug them back when I moved out. Honestly, don't do it to your parents or yourself if you have to carry it, which it was both because I had so many. Bring like 3 that you want to read, like for the first time, and bring like 2 to reread. I found that I had to actively make time to read if I wanted to. I didn't read before bed anymore, which I always do, and I do now that I'm at home again, because I was just so dead from socializing all day and going to classes and interacting with the real world. 12. Get a heavy-duty trash can. Chances are you'll be eating in your room, which means there will be food product in your trash can. So I recommend going to the Dollar Tree store, getting one of the big plastic ones. Sure, it's ugly, but it's a trash can. What do you expect from a trash can? Put the liners inside, and then when it's full, just tie it up and put it in one of the big barrels in the hallway. Don't get one of the trash cans like I have at home, which are like these. I also have funny puking stories about this. Not this one specifically, and not me specifically, but you kind of catch my drift. Is it 13? I don't know. Honestly, you don't need slippers. Just wear flip-flops. You can get them at Old Navy for super cheap. And you're gonna be wearing them in the nasty bathroom, the nasty shared bathroom. And last but not least, which is kind of a theme of what I've been saying, get a practical shower caddy. Those ugly, heavy plastic ones are decent, but I got one that has netting around it and it hangs. If you've seen my college haul from last summer, I got a really cute one from Kohl's and it broke within a month. So get one of those ugly ones, either the plastic ones, if you've watched college videos, you know what I'm talking about, or one that hangs a little with netting. Just get it. Quality over beauty, my friends. Bottom line of this video. Alright, so I hope that this was good advice. Definitely feel free to comment. I will answer every comment that is relevant to what I've been saying and nice. I haven't eaten much today, so I'm like high-key rambling. My next one is going to be what to expect the first week of school. Shout out to Marissa and Kim for inspiring me to make these videos. And yeah, I hope these were actually good. But at the same time, I'm really hungry and I don't care and I'm gonna go eat. So thank you for watching again. Goodbye.